Welcome back everyone for the second part of We Are Not Afraid to Die If We Can All Be Together. Before we proceed further into this video and discuss about the story, let us have a quick recap of whatever we had learned up to now. The story is no doubt an adventurous journey, you can say. Gordon Cook, who was a businessman, but he was also full of adventurous spirit, and he wanted to make some sort of world record, you can say. He wanted to travel around the whole world through the sea, making a journey through the sea. He take these daring decisions not alone, means he decided to involve his whole family in this decision. He had a son Jonathan, daughter Suzanne. They were 6 and 7 years old respectively, and he also took his wife Mary with him. Initial part of their planned journey, first leg of their planned journey was awesome. He had no difficulty at all. He traveled the first leg of his journey very peacefully. You can say that he encountered nothing of some sort of horrible thing. Nothing happened on his way. Actually, they had set their sail from Plymouth, England, and now they had reached up to Cape Town. After they had reached to Cape Town, they had decided to hire two crewmen. They were American Larry Wiesel and Swiss Herb Siegler. Now, why they hired these two crewmen? Because they knew that weather condition on the further route would be horrible. They were going towards Australia from Cape Town, so they knew that they will have to pass through southern Indian Ocean. In southern Indian Ocean, generally climate remains uneven. You can never predict about the weather condition there. So as a result, they took these crewmen so that if at all they will encounter any difficulty, these crewmen can be of a great help. So further, they decided to go. They went some 3,500 kilometers further from the Cape Town, and they began to find the wind speed was more than the usual. They started feeling the indication of storm. They thought that this storm will go very soon, within a week or so, and the climate condition will remain stable. But weather did not change. It was 25th December. They celebrated the Christmas there in the sea only. And they waited for another week. They thought that the weather condition will improve. But 1st January came, New Year, and uh, rather than weather improving, it became worse. From bad, it became worse. And the huge waves started arising in the sea, and they realized that they are to face some sort of danger there. Then they realized this as a precautionary things. What they did, they make lifelines and all the things ready. Lifelines in the sense that they made their boat ready, means they had another small boats in the ship. They tied the ship very carefully, wherever the support is needed, so huge waves may not affect the ship. They also wore their jacket and all. I think till then we discuss. Now we shall continue this video from here onwards. Let us see certain words before we proceed into the paragraph. Impending, something about to happen. It is in the context of horrible. Something horrible is about to happen, but generally people use this word in the context of horrible, but something about to happen in that context also this word can be used. Ominous silence, unpleasant or threatening silence. Aft, this word you need to remember, near the stern of the ship. And now, what is this term? Previously, we had discussed this word also, but once again, I am revising it. Stern means back part of the ship. So, aft is near the back part of the ship. Now, prideful, you already know. Crest, reach the top of the waves. To reach to the top of a waves means crest. Tremendous, you already know that word I know. And then shook, past tense of shake or vibrate. Deck, a floor of a ship. Deck is a floor of a ship. Torrent, a fast moving stream of water. Smashed, shattered, or violently broken. Capsizing, be overturned in water. Something overturned in the water, you can call it capsizing. Halt, throw with a great force. Taut, stretch or pull tightly. Taut, stretch or pull tightly. Boom. Boom, generally it is used in the context of the noise, but here boom means pole that controls the angle and the shape of the sail. Pole that controls the angle and the shape of the sail. Now scramble, climb, claw one's way. Hatch, hatch means door in the ship. So while reading the next paragraph, you need to keep these words in mind so that you'll have a better understanding. Author says further that the first indications of impending disasters came at about 6 p.m. with ominous silence. You know that when sea became silence, then there is something likely to happen. Ominous silence. They suddenly realize that the sea has become silent. And when something becomes silence, there is a sign that something is likely to happen. कभी भी ऐसा होता है कि अचानक एटमॉस्फेयर में बदलाव आ जाता है और सब कुछ शांत हो जाता है. That doesn't mean that atmosphere is going to become very peaceful. It is a sign in the sea कि कुछ ना कुछ होने वाला है. Sorry for that. Suddenly the wind dropped, and with that the sky grew dark, and there came a growling roar, enormous noise, uh, and author realized that a huge cloud had rose to the up of the sea, back part of the sea. With horror, he realized further that it was not the cloud which he assumed. पहले तो उसने सोचा कि एक बड़ा सा क्लाउड वहां पे गैदर हुआ है towards the back part of the ship. But it was not a cloud, but he realized that it was a big wave of the sea. And you can imagine such a big waves that they had not seen before. Initially they thought that it was a cloud. So how big wave you can understand, because they took it for the cloud in the beginning. It appeared perfectly vertical, means as if it is exactly coming down on their ship, and as if it will break the crest word we already came here, reach the top of the waves. They are means this wave is going to fall exactly on the ship. That way he thought. This initial roar increased into thunder, and the wave was exactly on the head of the ship. But then a tremendous explosion shook the deck, the floor, and on the floor of the ship, since the huge waves overpowered the ship, the entire floor became full of water, and it has damaged certain portion of the ship. The author says that when the waves struck the ship, at that time he was near the wheel, navigator wheel of the ship, and he was aware of flying overboard. I was aware of flying overboard and sinking below the waves. I accepted my approaching death. उन्होंने ऐसा कबूल कर लिया कि ऐसा अटैक हुआ था वेव्स का कि शायद वो almost in a condition where he will die. There is no hope of surviving, and they are in the middle of a sea, and there is no boats or ship nearby. You can assume that they were almost 3,500 kilometers away from the Cape Town in the middle of the sea. He was about to lose his consciousness. अब जो ऑथर है वो व्हील के आई मीन नेविगेटर व्हील के पास खड़े थे because he was a captain himself. He had to turn and take control of the ship. तो जब waves ने उन्हें waves ship पे आती है तब क्या होता है कि he was suddenly pushed further to the wheel, and as a result he was badly injured. उन्होंने ऐसा सोचा कि मैं मर ही गया. Then suddenly his head popped out of water. Wave water was nearly capsizing. जो पोजीशन थी शिप की, इट वाज कैप्साइजिंग ऑलमोस्ट, जैसे कि वो जहाज अंदर पानी में डूबने ही वाला था. The mast earlier was in a normal position. It remains horizontal, but now it became vertical. And he knew that at any time the ship might sink. Then a wave hurled her upright. एक दूसरी वेव आई और जो जहाज horizontal बन गया था, mast horizontal बन गया था, the जहाज became once again straight. The lifeline small boat inside, they were making noise. He author was not able to control his body, and as a result, he was taking support somewhere to stand straight. Subsequently, as a result, the waves tossed him around like a rag doll. आप पानी के ग्रेट फोर्स के आगे लड़ नहीं सकते. तो जब ये सब कुछ हो रहा था तो ही इज जस्ट लाइक अ रैग डॉल, टूटी फूटी हुई डिंगली डॉल, यू कैन से, उसके जैसा वो बिहेव कर रहे थे. अगर टूटी फूटी हुई डिंगली जो होती है डॉल, उसको आप पानी में डालोगे को विद द फोर्स ऑफ द वाटर इट विल फ्लंग एवरीवेयर. So similarly here the author was thrown everywhere from one side of the ship to the another side. Then he might have struck with something, so his rib, he realized that it was cracked, and the blood came on his mouth. इतना ज्यादा इंजरी हो गई थी कि मुंह से ब्लड आना स्टार्ट हो गया था. Somehow, amidst this difficulty, he found a wheel and he hung to that wheel. अब आप सोच रहे होंगे कि ये सब कुछ हो रहा था तो चिल्ड्रन कहाँ थे, वाइफ कहाँ थी उनकी, तो why nothing is informed about them? So let me tell you, there is a separate room inside the ship. So these children were safe there or they were kept inside the room. बाहर की साइड तो ये Larry Wiesel and Herb Siegler and author थे. So राइट नाउ बाहर की साइड का सीन डिस्क्राइब किया है ऑथर ने. इनसाइड what had happened will come to know as we'll read the story. Next, hatch. You will see that word, that is door, timbers, wood board used in building opposite, starboard, side opposite, which is on the right side when one is facing forward. Bulge means swell, something swollen. Sloshed, move through liquid with a splashing sound. Move through liquid with a splashing sound is called sloshed. Bashed, strike something very hard or heat it. So when author was facing the great difficulty, he realized on the sea water everywhere. I mean the water outside of the sea, it came inside and something was broken about the sea. I could feel that the ship had water below, but I dared not to abandon the wheel to navigate. अब ऑथर के लिए दिक्कत ये थी कि उनको पता चल गया था कि जहाज में पानी भर गया है एंड सम पोर्शन वाज डैमेज डाउनसाइड. कहीं ना कहीं शिप को डैमेज हुआ है जहां से पानी अंदर आ रहा है. बट इफ ही विल लीव द व्हील, जहाज का पूरा कंट्रोल नेविगेशन व्हील पे होता है, अगर वो छोड़ के चले जाएंगे then who will control the ship? Suddenly the front door opened. I mean the children and author's wives were inside, so that door was open and Mary came. She informed the author that they were sinking and she was in great pain. I mean nothing happened to her, but she realized the impending doom कि कुछ ना कुछ horrible होने वाला है. तो उसको पता चल गया था, तो she told the author that we are sinking. The deck means floor was damaged and it is full of water. Author told her to take control of the navigation wheel and he scrambled for the door, और वो अंदर डोर की तरफ गए. Meanwhile, Larry and Herb, these crewmen, were pumping like madmen. Pumping like a madman. अब आप सोच रहे होंगे कि why pumping like a madman? जब भी कोई ऐसे सी रूट पे जाता है जहाज लेके, the captain and the crewmen have certain arrangement. They have preparation for everything. तो वो वाटर पंप लेके जाते हैं. वाटर पंप का क्या काम होता है कि कई बार शिप डैमेज हो जाता है और पानी अंदर बढ़ना स्टार्ट हो जाता है, तो they can throw out the water with the help of water pump. पानी अंदर ज्यादा से ज्यादा बढ़ रहा था. जितनी स्पीड से पानी बढ़ता जाएगा उतनी स्पीड से जहाज डूबता जाएगा. तो they'll have to remove this water from the deck. So एक तरफ उन्होंने ये पंप का सहारा लिया था कि पंप की मदद से ये लोग जहाज में जो पानी बढ़ रहा था उसको बाहर निकाल रहे थे. And on the other side there were so many things were here and there. I mean, the ship was almost in a way of broken. So some broken timbers were here and there going. There were clothes and crockery and charts everywhere was floating on the water. The author went inside, he said, but he half swam, क्योंकि अंदर की तरफ भी पानी भर चुका था. Half crawled into the children's cabin. After he went there, he told them, "Are you all right?" And they said, "Yes." Uh, uh, they answered from an upper bunk. Upper bunk means a sleeping berth. सोने का एक बेड जैसा होता है, that is called upper bunk. But Sue, that is the short name of Suzanne, Suzanne informed that my head hurts a bit. लेकिन जब वेव्स ने हिट किया था जहाज को, तो देर वॉज अ ग्रेट जर्क. एक सिंपल मोमेंट नहीं थी, ज्यादा ही जर्क आया था. मानो कि अभी आप कोई कार के मोशन में चल जा रहे हो, कार में बैठे हो, कार 100 की स्पीड या 120 की स्पीड से जा रही है. अचानक से ड्राइवर अप्लाइज ब्रेक विदाउट यू नोटिसिंग इट, तो आपको क्या होगा कि यू विल बी सडनली थ्रोन फॉरवर्ड. तो यहाँ जब वेव्स आई थी, तब ये चिल्ड्रन को भी जर्क लगा था, और बिकॉज ऑफ दैट जर्क दे माइट बी shaken, and as a result there was an injury. So Suzanne says that her head hurt, and pointing to a big bump above her eyes. आंख के ऊपर के पोर्शन में लगा था सुजैन को जब जर्क आया था तब. And it was almost swollen. I had no time to worry about bumped heads, author says. Author को अभी सब कुछ संभालना था. अगर ये बच्चों को अटेंड करने लगेंगे तो क्या होगा कि जहाज में ज्यादा ही पानी बढ़ जाएगा और जिंदगी हमेशा के लिए चली जाएगी, सब लोग मर सकते हैं. तो he cannot worry about the small bruises now. So he said that he had no time to worry about the bumped heads. Another verse to study for the deflected turn aside. Canvas, a strong unbleached cloth. Debris means rubbish. Branch it, pull suddenly or remove. Forestay, a rope to support ship's foremast. Dinghies, a small boat for recreation with mast or sail. These are the technical words I know, but if you at all want to have understanding about the story, then these words you need to keep it in mind. Now, author actually, he did not know what exactly to do at that point of time, but he had some sort of understanding as a captain. He knew that somehow nothing is done for stopping the water, then the ship may sink inside the sea at any time. They will get drowned. So he need to repair the damage. He was searching for the leak. जहाज में जहां कहीं भी होल होगा उनको वो पूरना पड़ेगा. They'll have to repair it. अगर रिपेयर नहीं करते हैं तो जहाज कोई ना कोई समय पे डूब जाएगा. So he was searching for hammers, screws and canvas, and he decided to repair the damage. With a great difficulty he went towards the deck. The entire starboard means the floor was kept open, uneven हो गया था. कुछ टिम्बर पोर्शन जो शिप के थे वो बैडली डैमेज हो चुके थे. कुछ लकड़ियां थी वो यहाँ वहाँ पानी में तैर रही थी. We were taking water with each waves that broke over us. अभी भी दूसरी तरफ से waves तो आ ही रही थी. Earlier they met with the huge waves, now the small waves were still there. He realized that if the portion of the ship was not repaired, which was damaged, that at any point of time they will die, the ship will sink. Somehow I managed to stretch canvas and secure waterproof door covers. उनके पास कुछ मटेरियल था, तो जहां कहीं भी होल्स वगैरह उसको दिखाई देता था उसको रिपेयर करने का उसने ट्राई किया. But wherever he could see, he could repair it. जहां कहीं भी उनको ऊपर की साइड पे होल्स दिखे वहां पे तो उन्होंने लीकेज भर दिया, लेकिन शिप की नीचे की साइड में होल हुआ था। अब नीचे की साइड में होल हुआ था तो उसको रिपेयर करना इतना इजी नहीं था। And that exact spot was not, they were not able to find out from the leakage, from where the water is coming inside. Some water continued to stream below, but most of it was not being deflected over the side. Deflected means turned aside. My problems arose when our hand pumps started to block up with the debris floating around the cabins and electric pumps short circuited. इनके पास वाटर पंप्स थे पानी बाहर निकालने के लिए, लेकिन एक जो वाटर पंप था उसके अंदर कचरा आ गया था। कचरा, यू कैन ऑब्वियसली अंडरस्टैंड कि शिप डैमेज हुआ था, तो डैमेज हुआ था उसकी जो छोटी छोटी लकड़ियां थी उसमें से कुछ पार्टिकल्स पंप वाटर पंप में चले गए होंगे, और उसकी वजह से दैट वाटर पंप वाज नॉट वर्किंग प्रॉपरली। They had electric water pump too, but it was short circuited. So they were in great difficulty. In Gujarati we can say कि एक साथ या तीर टूटे, आसमान से गिरा खजूर पे अटका। सिचुएशन बद से बदतर होती जा रही थी। The water pumps were not working. If the water was not thrown outside of the ship, then the ship will get definitely drowned. The water level in the ship was threatening. Anything can happen at any point of time. Back on the deck, he found that our two spare hand pumps had been wrenched overboard, pulled overboard, along with the forestay, the jeep, the dinghies, and the main anchor. सभी चीजें अंदर अस्त व्यस्त हो गई, क्योंकि पानी के बहाव, पानी जो अंदर आया था उनके बहाव में वो यहाँ वहाँ घूम रही थी, ऑन द फ्लोटिंग ऑन द वाटर, यू कैन से। मेडे कॉल्स, वर्ड्स यूज्ड टू सिग्नल शिप स्ट्रक इन अ डिजास्टर सिचुएशन थ्रू द रेडियो। मेडे कॉल्स आपने कहीं मूवी में वगैरह में पढ़ा होगा कि व्हाट इज दिस मेडे कॉल्स। तो जब भी ये शिप वगैरह डेंजरस सिचुएशन में आ जाते हैं तो वो दे मेक मेडे कॉल ऑन द रेडियो फॉर हेल्प। कहीं लैंड एरिया में वो या किसी दूसरे शिप से वो कनेक्ट कर से बात कर सकते हैं कि हमारी जान यहाँ पे खतरे में है तो हमें बचाने के लिए आ जाइए। But here they were far away from the land area in the middle of the ship, and there was I mean, they are not getting connected, no network, nothing of that sort. And because of that, the radio was not working. We will see about it in the story. When author was facing all the difficulty, he realized that he had another electric pump in the chart room floor. He connected it to an out pipe and was thankful to find that it worked. एक spare electric pump था वो काम कर रहा था, तो he was lucky in that way. The whole night they had to work out endlessly. और आप एक ऐसी सिचुएशन इमेजिन कीजिए कि आप एक पुराने घर में हो, ऊपर की छत टूटी हुई है, बारिश हैवीली हो रही है और आपके घर में पानी आता ही जाता है, तो आपको कंटिन्यूसली क्या करना पड़ेगा, जो घर में पानी भर रहा है उसको आपको कंटिन्यूसली बाहर निकालना पड़ेगा। तो पूरी रात ऐसे ही इनको वही करना पड़ा। पानी इतना अंदर आता रहता था कि they cannot sleep, they cannot take rest, they'll have to pull out the water continuously, and it was a bitter cold, another problem. They had to keep on pumping. On the other side, he was continuously trying to call, make a connections on the radio too, but they were getting no replies of the Mayday call. Sue had a swollen head, and that swollen part was rising alarmingly. Her eyes had become black. Now she showed us a deep cut on her arm also. पहले तो उसने हेड की बातें की थी, लेकिन उसके आर्म में भी कुछ इंजरी आई हुई थी. तो now that injury also she showed. When I asked her why she hadn't made more of her injuries before this, यानी कि उसका मतलब होता है कि पहले तुमने क्यों नहीं बताया कि हाथ में भी इंजरी आई है. तब सू ने इन्फॉर्म किया कि आई डिडंट वांट टू वरी यू व्हेन यू आर ट्राइंग टू सेव अस ऑल. सी द अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ चिल्ड्रन टू. स्यू की अंडरस्टैंडिंग भी देखो कि उसने बोला कि पापा मैं तुम्हें ज़्यादा चिंता नहीं करवाना चाहती थी, इसलिए मैंने आपको हेड बताया, हैंड नहीं बताया था. तो she was only 7 years old, and 7 years old daughter having this type of understanding, that is quite extraordinary. Because if she will start crying and father will start attending them, then father will not get a time to look after the repair of the ship's damaged portion. By the morning on January 3, the pumps had water level sufficiently under control for us to take 2 hours rest. 1 एंड 2 जनवरी से स्टार्ट हुआ था. 3 जनवरी को उनको थोड़ा सा रेस्ट करने का चांस मिला. द वाटर लेवल रिमेन अंडर कंट्रोल, बट वी स्टिल हैड ट्रेमेंडस लीक समवेयर बिलो. अभी भी नीचे की साइड में कुछ पोर्शन लीक था, वो उनको देखना था. Okay, we shall continue the story further in the third video. Right now, whatever has been discussed, we are keeping this video up to here. So whatever we discuss, I urge you to read that portion. We shall meet in the next video. Till then, it's a goodbye from me, and have a good day ahead.